this, but it's a little seed. Remember long ago I read a passage from Rudolf Steiner. He's talking about the power of imagination. And I thought it was interesting because I was reading other people too who spoke about imagination. You just fall into these synchronicities. You start to find the people and the information which relates processes you're going through. And there was this book I have, I think it's called Mind Power or something like that. One of the ways they all speak of these different exercises to enhance the imagination, the mind. It's basically what you do when you're a kid. But one meditation has to do with a seed. So a mustard seed is very tiny. But you could use a sequoia or anything really. The potential of what the seed has to grow into, the size, the immensity, how it relates with reality, how it interrelates. All that is contained within this seed. It's an automatic happening through processes of life, maturation. And it takes the pressure of the process in order to bring that spirit out. That's how we are in relation to the world and others. These processes, these cycles, these energies, they are gravitational unfoldments. They're ripples in the pond. The spirit and form, you know. So in any case, what that kind of means to me is essentially we are reflecting our own entrainments. Interdependence on energy exchange for holding a spirit and form, holding a family together, holding a job together, a career, community, city, a government, a world, a reality. Holding illusions, delusions, statics in the process, the flow of life. Do you have the endurance to hold false reflection? Are you going to give your energy to that or conserve your energy for truth, which is an unfoldment happening for you, through you? By you, essentially. Well, how do you wake up to your own value? Or what that means, can mean. It seems we can only relate in this world in terms of static dynamics. Loop energies. Which they either propel you or they hold you. And you're not quite sure when you're trying to figure it out externally. That's why the hermetic life, or trying to learn your own melodies and language, is good, because you have a reference for what you are not in relation to what others are. And it doesn't have to be conflictual, because you are understanding that you're developing in life. And you don't have the answers, you just know the actions. If you need to take something from another in order to be, well, that's not really a reciprocal type of energy. If your truth hurts another, then it can't settle, essentially. And everyone, is in their processes. They can see, feel, touch what they're able to at the time. And in life that changes. Some people call it growth, some people devolution. But some people are trying to leave, some people are trying to come to this world. Sometimes it feels that way many times in your own life. I was reflecting this world so much growing up. I was trying to fit in, I was trying to connect, trying to find value. I was dropped into reason. I had to reason the meaning for being, the feeling of what that is. It wasn't like an aware compulsion, it's just the relation to existence. For me, at least at this point. So that leads you to become open to reality. Life pulls you to meaning through feeling. And when you feel so down, so deep, so low, you tend to look up to where you are not. So you can see there's this scale, a range, and in time you become aware you can go deeper, you can go higher. If you're blessed by the compulsive spirit, in either direction. Some people will call it a curse, others a blessing. You know, when you're facing like all these potentials of perspective, reality, which we might be able to share, you can see that we limit ourselves greatly to what we are only able to find value in relation to life with. How do you make the insane home? And allow the unsane to settle. Everything is replication, you know, so the AI algorithm, all these ideas of the dream and simulation or whatever. It's reproduction of something we feel deep within ourselves, which is creative force, life. Everything is creative, even our destruction. It's opening holes in a vacuum to fill void. We got to get out of the vacuum of the four square consensus agreements of a shifting paradigm. You follow the roots of what is base for all reality. That's where you can create your perspective, your reality, your truth, your flow can find gravity. When you're too high up or too down low, you don't move very much. You may go up and down, but you're not really progressing in a way. You're progressing for others or other things, and that it might be what people refer to as karma. Everything we refer to, we have to devolve it into a conceptual, communal agreement in terms of the depth of its impact on us, because we all experience reality differently and we're tuned into different value sets. And that's beautiful. That is key to creativity. Essentially, the less you deny yourself, the less you deny others. The less you'll accept denial from the world. The more, the more. It's a simple upbringing, you know. We're in throes of a shit show society which is devolving into a technocratic evolution. If you're into technology, the future looks amazing. If you're into psychology, it doesn't look so good. If you're into everything, it's just happening. None of that shit matters. What I can do matters. How do I find value in that? Where do you put that? I buy a lot of books that I don't read. I'm holding them. I know there's value in them. I can value someone's perspective without owning the details. I'm always able to see how things connect, and if I can't logically define what that is after learning system, it doesn't exist in my reality. Arbitrary cult of personality projection is not something I can digest. I don't take it in. That's why I see people playing roles and characters, possessing energies for cycle change, holding space for energy, the temple of the self. How do you learn to treat the self sacred when this world is a throwaway, predatorial, power over dynamic, survival oriented, pleasure seeking, escapist, opportunistic? How do you find purity to relate to all that? Those vice energies which hold this shit show together, the strings holding the carnivore. Individually they cannot hold you, but together collectively, if you believe, they will bind you. And it isn't so much you, it's everyone else, and you gotta relate with them, so it's a subconscious thing and we're in it together. So you gotta put your own oxygen mask on before you assist, essentially. You have to be able to carry your own load. If you can't, what are you helping in this world? You're just part of it. But who's to judge? You are, and that's through assessment. Don't think of an individual sign as one static, balanced Libra perfection. But the process to get there is in Virgo. The turmoil it takes to get to that point, the work, the expression, the magic is a combination of these energies. And it spills over into the next, and we're flowing in life. If you can't learn and grow and accept mistakes, you'll never show that spirit. You'll just be stuck as a automaton echo response, which the world is trying to cult of mind people into. Transhumanistic, technocratical marvels. I don't really jive with that kind of mentality. So before you end up in these worlds, you gotta understand what they could be for you, whether that be your own personal relations, your career choices, your schooling choices, your romantic choices, your life choices, your self choices. What limits, what potentials, why? What kind of reason could make you swim across the ocean if you had to? How do you harness that spirit? Alright, well, I guess that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching, listening, and